Hello, hello, welcome everyone. This is part 2 of my Mythographic of the Month Club, Color Along out of Dream Garden by Fabianaattanasio. So if you were with me last time, this page looks a little different. The only thing I did off camera was I colored in black for my sky. I was going to do a fancy sky, but the more I was looking and looking, I was like, you know, a black sky with a million little pretty stars, I think would bring this better together than trying to add even more like a galaxy or anything, because this is pretty busy already. So I felt like if I added a busier sky, it was just going to overload it. And then I based this with just a gray and brown marker. So that is the only thing I did off camera. If you are following along or joining in, and I will show you, and I did use a blotter page. So just a good old Sharpie and a Bic, and I just filled in. Now there was planets on the other side of this, and I'm not gonna lie, Fabiana does a lot of planets in her sky. I don't know if it's just what she likes or the theme of the books or what, but I'm a little bit planeted out and I felt like it looked weird. I left two I could work with, but like I covered the rest. There was like one here and a little one down here, and I just didn't want to have to work around a whole lot of planets and try to fit them in and colors. And so your choice, you want to leave the planets in or not. I did not. So now that we're on to a mixed media page, we've got pencil and alcohol marker going. I'm also going to pull acrylic paint. And so all I did was white, some blues, and a yellow mixed with white. And when I get that far for the sky, that will be my sky. These waves, I will also do an acrylic paint with like a cotton ball or a Q-tip and kind of dab them in, but I want to get my flowers and leaves in first. So hopefully we will make it that far. So to start with, I'm going to pull some grays. No, actually, let's switch that up. To start with, we're going to put one layer of stars in. Acrylic paint dries really fast, but it is important to remember to let it dry, especially if you're going to layer one color over another. I have a Q-tip that has, a toothpick that has a flat rounded end. Okay, bring it down a little so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to pick the color I want to do first. Now, if you do your pencil in background and sometimes acrylic, when you put your white dots down, they will soak the color up underneath. If you want to prevent that, if you are like wanting your white super white, you can put a tiny dot of your white wax pencil down, and that will create a barrier for your paint to sit on. And then your paint won't suck up the color underneath. So totally up to you if you want to do that route. And I'm just going to start with my white. Now these are kind of big, so I'm not going to do a whole bunch of these. I don't want this to look like we have went from starry night, beautiful sky to snowflakes. If you want a snowy feel, Ice Haven, go for it. Sorry about the car alarm. Okay, so there's going to be my white. And again, I'm doing a few different colors, so I'm not going to do a whole bunch of one. This is going to be my yellow, and this is a little bit of a patience kind of thing, just because you have to reload a toothpick a lot, and I am sure there are better tools. There are dotting tools like for nail art that are great for this kind of thing. I honestly never really had to dot a whole lot with paint to have to invest in them, but oh, sorry about the wiggle. Neighbors were being loud, so I paused for a second. If you lightly tap, you get tiny dots. I will come in with a smaller tool and add tinier dots, and I have plenty of paint if I need to come back with more. Than one color. Or come back of more with a color, like if I need more white or yellow when I get it all. Now, I'm not worrying about perfect roundness because, again, when I get all of them in, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, and not every star is perfectly round. This one here is a metallic blue, and I pulled it just for fun, not for any particular reason, but it's a metallic ice blue by Folk Art. I got it at Walmart. I love it, and I don't ever get to use it, so we're going to try it out. My goal here is just to make it look like when you look at the stars, you know, some are brighter than others, some are bigger than others. Some are a little more yellow, a little more blue. Now, is this realistic looking? Not really, but kind of. My line between the water isn't either, so. Oh, I smeared that one a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to kind of let that dry for a minute. It is not done. We're going to come and we're going to add some tinier ones with the other side of it, like this. Tons of tiny little, and I might even spritz it with the toothbrush effect. But I want to make sure it's nice and dry before I go doing that, because if I bump it and smear or anything like that, I'm going to mess up my whole sky. An alcohol marker doesn't color over acrylic super well, so we're going to avoid that if we can. So next we are going to tackle, let's get this lion right in the center out of the way. So let's pull down a little. I'm going to pull a goldenrod, and I apologize for how tiny my goldenrod is, but well, I have one that's a little bigger. I'm about due to go get some more open stock goldenrods because they're all getting pretty tiny. Also going to do yellow ochre. You will need a brown of your choice. I'm using burnt ochre, but sienna brown works, light umber works, chocolate, however you wish. Make sure I'm center here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take burnt ochre. Sorry, lost my words somewhere, and I'm going to outline around his face. I'm going to make it a little darker here, around his eyes and his nose, just like if I were doing a human face, right? We're going to go around with the hairline, under the eyes, down the nose, all that good stuff. Okay. And then we're going to come in with that goldenrod. We're going to do circular motions over the top of, and turn that off real quick so it quits zooming in on my finger. Okay, circular motions over the top of the burnt ochre and out a little ways. So lions have fairly short hair on their face compared to like their manes. So if you are looking to add in the fur effect, you would flick your colors in whatever direction. I'm not going to do that on mine just yet, but if you are going for the fur effect, that is how you do it. And I'm building in just like we would a face. So these are my skin tone colors, and I am building in a face here. So we have our T-zone, which is our highlight, and our cheeks, right? And so then we're going to pull a sand. Actually, let's go cream and see if that's too light, because I feel like sand is almost one too dark. And I'm going to blend it all. I don't want his face to look streaky. We just want to have that highlight there. Now, just kind of touching up a couple spots. All right, so there's our lion face. And again, if you want the first strokes, just go in with your darker color. We can kind of add a couple in here. Again, their face has short hair, so we don't want to like give too long of streaks. So short, quick dashes will give the illusion of fur. Okay, I am going to pull a little more yellow, I think, for the mane. So for his mane and ears here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put his ears in before I lose those. 'Cause I, human or animal, for some reason, skip the ears every time. I'm kind of just going around his mane so I can separate it from his body. I colored in between here, right here as ground. To me it looks like ground. So if you think it's his back leg, color it as his back leg, whichever you wish. And take out that little spot I colored and put it back in as gray. I left a little gap because I was like, maybe it's leg, but I feel like it looks weird. So I'm going to do mine as ground. Okay, so on the mane here, I'm trying to decide the best way to show how I'm going to do it. So I'm outlining a little bit of the sections of hair here. And that one turns into a tree branch, so I kind of got to be aware of that. And if you don't want to do traditional lion colors because he's got tree branches coming out, feel free to change up your colors, whatever you like. Okay, so just like on the body, and if I missed any spots, because I can see them already, I will come back in with my goldenrod. I'm going to take yellow ochre next. And this yellow is just going to give him a little more golden lion feel. Notice I'm still leaving white. I'm not just coloring his whole mane in yellow. So I'm kind of creating a little bit of highlight in between the two where I can. Cream. Now he's not done. I'm going to add some more colors, but again, building in that highlight. I don't want to do like pink on the inside of his ears. I know people think the inside of ears and they want to jump to pink, but I don't have any pink on this page. So if I were to do just 2 spots of pink, it's going to throw my page off. It's going to look weird and everybody's eyes are going to jump right to that pink spot. Okay, this is my burnt ochre, and I'm just darkening up spots where the hair is bunched together or they have darker lines, helping some things stand out a little. And I know not everybody loves this layering process when I do these, but they really are worth the time. And then I will probably take this burnt ochre and kind of turn it into the tree branch so that they're somewhat cohesive. Now again, this ground I am going to do in pencil over the top. So these trees right here will stand out a little more. It was just the brown I chose to do in between the rocks, and I skipped a whole rock. So again, I just pulled a spray alcohol marker. I love these, but unfortunately they can't be bought anymore, or I would leave a link. These were like some of my favorite. Now I go to Teo trees, just because price point. Okay, I think I got them all this time. Again, these are not done. I'm going to go over with pencil, just trying to fix it as I see it. Okay, I'm going to bring a little more shadow down here around his chin, and if you want to bring one darker brown in, you could do that as well. Create some contrast that way. I'm going to see how it goes like this for a minute, and then I'll decide if I want one darker for shadows. Make sure I'm on screen here because I have a bad habit of sliding around. Okay, yellow ochre again. There's a couple spots I can see I want to come back with that goldenrod. Okay, and then back in with this one. So it's like it's kind of a little bit of a layering process here, but we'll get it. And I am going to shadow around these ears a little more. So I am going to bring in one darker of a brown. So let me find one real quick. One sec. Okay, so I pulled a dark brown. This is goldenrod because I want to kind of wipe that out a little bit first. Okay, dark brown. And just a couple spots. I'm going to go around his face. The tips of his mane. Concentrating here around his face, the tips of his mane. We're going to go around this ear as well. Okay. And then I'm just kind of, any spots that look a little harsh. So again, this will take a few layers and a little bit of playing with it. But we'll get there. darken the inside of his ears. Okay. And then I will kind of just work this yellow, this is yellow ochre, in on his legs. Now on these legs, if you are one that is adding in fur, you want to be aware of the direction of your fur strokes. So I'm going to use that dark brown real quick and put these nails in, because if I don't, I'll forget. Again, just quickly darkening my shadow areas with this dark brown. This foot I did a little darker kind of on purpose just because it's blocked by this leg, so that's why I did that like that. Okay, so if you are adding in your strokes, actually I need that pencil. Remember, sharp tip. We're going to follow the strokes they have already put in. I'm just kind of outlining him a little so I don't lose him in the background. And so there is my lion minus his nose, which I'm going to do. Again, pink noses are tempting, but if I only have pink in one spot on my page, I really don't want everybody's eyes to be drawn to his nose. Okay, so the next thing I want to tackle is a couple of these mushrooms. And so let me pull my colors. Okay, I'm only going to do a couple of these because they're fairly simple and I want to show you some more of my sky. But all I did was take purple, and this one actually looks a little different because I went a different color route first. I went purple and pink, didn't like it. So then I changed up my color palette a little bit. And I will come back and kind of blend that a little better, but I did dark purple, a little bit of processed red to blend them together, poppy red, and this is yellowed orange. And then when I get done with the sky, I will come back and do the dots on my mushrooms as well. So I am varying where I bring up the purple, and you will notice it's more distinct on this one than this one. Again, I tried a different color palette and didn't like it, so I adjusted quickly as I could to correct that issue. And if you don't want them all the same, you can, you know, add more pink, more orange and yellow. If you do these like all pink, his pink nose and ears would fit in. Mine comes out to be more of a red, even though it's pink when I put it down. So there's those. So real quick, let me grab the toothbrush. So this is my painting toothbrush. You can see usually white for the most part, but you can also do this with like your paintbrushes and stuff. However, when you do this a lot with your finger, this is the motion I do to get the effect. It can be hard on your brushes, so I definitely would advise against using one of your favorite ones or an expensive one. But yeah, I've had this toothbrush forever. This is what works for me. So I'm going to take a little of the metallic blue to start off with, and I'm going to put it on there. And again with my thumb, I am holding fairly close to the paper, mainly because I have such a tiny workspace here. If you are doing a larger, you can hold higher and get it bigger. You know, if you put more on it and do it slower, you will get bigger drops. It's really fun to just kind of take a piece of paper and check out your options. Sorry, I was trying to look for the paint at the same time and talk. And check out all the different effects you can get with the different paint and things. And no, I do not still brush my teeth with this toothbrush. It was a nice one though. This was a reach I found in the clearance bin, and I actually had planned on using it at one point. And then I needed a toothbrush for these type of projects, and here we are. Okay, now I'm taking just a little bit of white. That was my metallic blue. Not a whole lot, and I am trying to dodge the leaves and things. I haven't colored them yet though, so another bonus of doing this part first is when I do color them, color pencil will scratch off the acrylic, so it's not a huge deal. I don't want to cover it completely because that would be a pain, but okay, now I'm taking some yellow. That was kind of a lot of yellow, so we're going to be a little careful. Be aware that when you put it on your brush, you do not have to go quick. It does not have to be like a speed project. You can move your thumb slow. And it kind of just helps control things. I need a Kleenex for my fingers real quick here. Got a mess going on. Is a little messy. I know not everyone loves using their fingers on that kind of thing. Let me get centered here. Let me wipe a little extra off my brush. Okay, so I think that's kind of good on the tiny stars with the toothbrush. Again, I take these fuzzy Q-tips. They're supposed to be like for babies and things, I think. Not real sure. That's what mine were for, but I never really used them. And I'm not going to do very much of this because it's kind of hard. I'm going to mix a tiny dot of blue with it to start with, and I'm going to do these waves. But I'm going to pat them. And it's going to look weird at first with the blue, because I know, waves are white kind of thing. And I'm going to work on covering that black line. Just kind of tapping it in. So I got that dark blue and my white. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be. And I'm going to do that whole little section in that dark blue. And all that does is when I put my white on, it gives it a little bit of tint so that it's kind of looks like still water. Nice splashy effect. It hides the lines. I like doing this on, whoa, that was a little much. Let me wipe some of that off. I like doing this on like trees and things, fall trees. But this looked like a good one to do some water. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little more white on top of that. And again, if you let it dry and come back over, then your colors won't blend so much. And I should have colored that mushroom first. But that will be my water. So this whole area around these and this section over here, they will all have this little splattery kind of water look here. And again, you can come in and put all your blue down and let it dry, and then like go and work on your sky. Come back down, add another layer of lighter blue, go back up, add some more dots to your sky, and then come back down and add your white. And that was a lot of white right there. I'm going to wipe a little of that on. And again, my main goal is just to kind of make it look like watery. If you start getting these danglers, you can push them down with your finger or just get a new one. You can swap ends. Not really, nothing too serious. It happens. Some Q-tip quality is better than others, so sometimes it happens a little more and a little quicker. Okay, and then when I do get all of that kind of done and how I want it, I will go back with the toothbrush and add just some like white dots to look like spray, kind of coming off a little better. So while all that is drying, let me make sure this is dry, I'm going to tackle my leaves over here. And then I think we will have squeezed just about everything on this page into one video, or 2 videos I should say. These flowers I'm also going to do orange. So I'm just going to do them orange and fade them out to yellow. And that will just kind of bring in some of my lion colors and the yellow in my sky. That's why I chose those colors. So let me pull my greens. Okay, so I just pulled a grass green and a lime peel, and then you can do spring green or chartreuse yellow if you would like for your highlight color. I had mine like 2 seconds ago and it ran away because that's apparently the luck I'm having this evening. Trying to get my to-do list done. Oh, is it hiding over here? It's hiding over here. Okay. Now, these leaves look a little different, but I'm going to do them basically the same. So I'm going to run my dark down the middle, then my lime peel, then my chartreuse. That didn't sharpen very well. Then if I want to darken, I can. Or if you want a darker color even, you can do it that way too. Now I got a sock here. Again, I usually try to work around or cover up the hidden images when I can. So I'm just going to color right over it like it's a leaf, and hopefully when I come in with my paint, it will hide the rest of that. And again, we have some kind of thing there. And chartreuse. Okay, and then these ones over here, I'm actually going to go lime peel first. Give them a little bit different look. Same but different. And I think I'm actually going to pull avocado green. This is a Prismacolor Scholar, so like marine green if you want. It's just a dot darker than the lime peel, so it works out perfect. So I will do that on all these little baby leaves. We'll just take my time and go back in and shade them up. Also, before I forget, I think I skipped the whole back part of my lion. So if you did as well, don't be like me. There we go. Okay, and then I'm doing the back of this as water because I think it's water. This would be where this water came from. So this is aquamarine. And then Copenhagen blue. And I think that's a hidden object, so we're just going to go ahead and hide it because it's bugging me. Okay, and then we're just going to take white. We're going to make sure there's no pink or yellow or whatever color we used last on there. And we're going to back and forth blend it. Now you can add some white lines across with your gel pen if you want. Up to you. Then our water's put in. So my planets, I'm just going to probably do mushroom colors and help them stand out and bring these colors in some more. Let me pull out a little. All right, so there's our lion page so far. I hope you had fun and enjoyed the mixed media kind of Kirby, oh my goodness, mixed media mythographic page we tackled. It's about time I got to pull my paints back out and do some fun stuff with them. I've been trying to get to do that for a while here. Questions, comments, anything like that. If you have a request for next month's book, I haven't even looked through them to see who, what, where, when, why I want to do. So if you have a suggestion, let me know. And I hope to see you for September Mythographic of the Month Club. Sorry, concentrating. And all the fun little pages in between. Thanks for watching. Bye.